wrestling on the Europe tour.
Yeah, he's been getting back in shape.
But I didn't even think about. I didn't think. Oh,
especially if they're going to bring
him out.
back John Cena, who technically is brandless. They have to bring back another brandless star in Triple H. So like.
Oh, I was super stoked about it.
I mean, I popped. Yeah, I was pretty happy. I'm not going to complain about not having to watch Jason Jordan wrestle in a really.
How fucking boring is Jason Jordan? I mean, he is a good technical wrestler.
He's a really good wrestler, but he's a charisma vacuum.
Yes,
like,
he is.
Just
the most fun that it's been to watch him has been with Elias. And really only specifically that one match where he threw vegetables at him.
Sure. If you go
he
back...
would do really good if he was just like this joking kid and was just obnoxious.
He was great as the straight man to like Chad Gable's weirdness,
right?
In American Alpha, but then they got no character work on like SmackDown when they got called up at all.
Because main rosters can only handle like 2 tag teams at a time.
They got so over.
Despite the fact that in half or not less of the time, currently, NXT is dealing with 3 factions. Yep. Not even tag teams. 3 factions.
3 that are all more over than Jason Jordan. And one of them's fully...
Is this an audio test or are we just rolling?
Almost 2
I mean, we're rolling. If that's what you're asking.
I don't know if I broke it or not.
I mean, you did now.
Okay.
You acknowledged it. I can always pare it down later.
Shit.
Welcome to episode... fuck it. Welcome to Kayfabe Club. We're not doing episode numbers here. This is... we're grown-ups. How about that shit? It's been kind of a fun week of wrestling.
It has been a week.
It's so ridiculous that saying that it's a fun week is kind of is not always a given.
No, not at all. And it's not even close to over.
I'm getting so sad looking at this Google Doc.
Is it that big?
Huh?
Is it because
no, it's because like I decided to write in green and I was just like writing like semi jokes and Nick was just like actually like breaking down wrestling and I'm just like in here just like doing like my normal bullshit that I normally do.
No, I love your normal bullshit. You threw in some great jokes that I'm so happy about.
I'm all about the jokes.
The jokes that you put in are by far some of my favorite things, and I'm mostly just trying to write jokes.
I just legitimately had like 2 dead hours at work this morning, and the Wrestling Observer newsletter drops every Thursday morning. So I was like, well, fuck it. I've got 27,000 words of Meltzer here. Let me parse through what's important and what's not.
Yeah, so we're gonna take
we'll just get into it, I guess.
We're gonna try to get through as much as we can because it has been fucking thick this week, especially because it's leading up.
Specifically just with WWE. And
right. I mean, just because we are leading into Survivor Series, which is one of the top 4, 3, whatever it is.
They're trying to make fetch happen with Survivor Series, and it never works.
I don't know. Survivor Series has been consistently good with matches over the years. I mean
it's been good, but it has no serious implications, especially since they're trying to shove like SmackDown versus Raw brands.
They're making it bragging rights now.
Nobody cares about the bragging rights. It's great that I get to see these people who I never get to see.
Sure,
but it's one of those things where it doesn't have like lasting implications. From a venue standpoint, or
it's like the last big pay-per-view before the road to WrestleMania, which is kind of exhausting.
The road is like 6 months long, and it makes me want to die.
This is the last time that we get to have a pay-per-view in which they don't
say
the
road. Yeah.
We'll get a really weak December. They're not going to talk about it in December because they've got to talk about the Rumble.
I'm really excited because they've announced that they're going to be doing less pay-per-views next year. In the same way that Marvel's saying we're not going to do any big crossovers this year.
We're going to do 5 less crossovers. So still 30 crossovers.
Yeah. So let's kick it off with Raw. Stephanie came out to start the show. Can we all agree that Stephanie could have just not come back, and that would have been fine?
I'd have been fine with it.
Actually, I've been thinking about this. I don't know when I wanted to talk about this specifically, but this is a good enough time as any, and I probably will touch on it again. But I really do like the dichotomy that Raw has between its power, between its superstars, its quote-unquote general manager, and its like higher, like it's like, I guess, like leader.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Like Stephanie's your owner, and like general manager Kurt Angle's like your coach, and then you have like your players. If you're looking at this from a sports standpoint,
sure.
Where, like SmackDown is just kind of like fucking horses without
what the
like
fuck is Daniel
dogs
Bryan's
without horses.
job?
Yeah, that's kind of what
Other
I was
than
getting
to
into,
like show up and sometimes get chokeslammed by
Daniel Bryan.
His job is to not go to New Japan for another year.
Yeah, like Daniel Bryan, I think is on a contract, but they don't know what to do with him. And I like Raw's. It works better with Raw because Stephanie gets so much heat, and she's that Vince McMahon, like where she wants results and she wants it, and Kurt's kind of like playing like the meek, cowardly GM, and he kind of wants to do these things.
I would like to see him not be meek after or coming out of Survivor Series. I would really like to see them more. Does anybody see a world in which Kurt doesn't get fired after Survivor Series?
No, they're gonna. I think you're gonna get a Triple H Kurt Angle feud
leading up to
Mania. Into Mania, and I think we'll talk. I want to talk about that for the Survivor Series stuff. But yeah, I think this is going to be used to set up feuds.
Sure.
Across the board.
This is. I
can already see because there was already actual heat way long ago between Stephanie, Kurt, and Triple H in real life. So I mean, they just
playing off of that.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean, especially because the feuds between Triple H and Kurt Angle have been going on since the mid '90s. So it really is a natural evolution of that. I don't think that we really got any good information out of Stephanie coming out, other than her just being.
It was a recap.
A mean person, and of course you did get the announcement of the Shield versus New Day, which is a match that we all saw coming.
Right.
Can we not?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think it's just a little bit amazing how Roman Reigns gets such a huge pop when he's with the Shield, and then when he goes into singles, he's nothing. No, everybody.
That's because he makes sense within the Shield.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to be awkward and carry a promo for 5 minutes.
Right. But they gave him the they didn't even let Seth talk during the promo.
Right.
They gave it to Roman, and Roman, I was actually like, all right, well, that wasn't bad.
But he only had like 2 lines, and that's the thing. Like if he
did say shit at the end of it, and I was like, what's your brand?
Roman Reigns' brand is pushing the bounds of TVPG as far as he can.
I'm gonna get over by saying shit.
Yeah.
Look at how edgy I am. I say curse words on TV.
Next one was the triple threat match between the remaining.
The rest of the women's roster.
Was anybody else super surprised that we didn't get a Paige return here?
Yes, actually, I kind of was.
I'm fully expecting that.
I'm expecting it for Brand Blue.
That's what I'm thinking now.
Because she was always on Raw, but I think it'd be good because you got a weaker division in there. She would add a good mix of because there's too many faces and like not enough heels and
sure.
Yeah, I think Paige would work real well over there.
Same.
And especially because you kind of there aren't enough like championship worthy people on SmackDown. There's a lot of developing talent, but
sure.
Natalia's definitely not there yet. I don't care what anybody says. Her versus Charlotte is fun just because you do have the legacy aspect of it, but
I don't think you'll ever get an exciting match out of Natalya, but I think you'll always get a competent match. I think she can wrestle just fine. I think Natalya's big problem is she was trained in the Heart Dungeon.
Right.
And that's a very specific style of wrestling.
Unless if your name is Brett or Owen, you're going to have a real uphill battle.
She's fine. Like in real life, she's got charisma. She's okay, but you're never going to get a super exciting match out of her.
I've literally never seen Dana Brooke on TV.
Fair.
When was the last time Dana was on TV?
I'm kind of excited. I'm a little bit bummed out because they had her hit Asuka, so it seems like they're building up another one of their off TV brands or off TV talent to be a Asuka squash.
That'll definitely be a squash. She's still so green. Like she was in
NXT
for maybe 9 months before they called her up.
Why did they call her up?
They needed to fill the roster.
They needed to fill the roster, and NXT has so much. They're so deep in women right now.
They strip mined the women's division. Literally, they left Asuka and I think Peyton and Billy, and that was it.
Yeah. Can I say this? I hate Mickie James's boot flares because they do not seem practical at all. Maybe I know that you disagree, but you're also a huge fan of.
I'm biased because the Young Bucks have basically the same boot flare.
I don't care.
Fair. It's just really fringy.
Bayley won that with a Bayley to Bayley. I still continue to not see Bayley as a good talent on TV. I think that she just doesn't. it's not smooth matches with her.
I would rather have Mickey on the team. I would rather see more of Mickey, but they're going to push Bayley because Mickey is a legacy and Bayley isn't.
Right.
Well, I think
which is fine. Mickey's going to get dicked, and it's not going to be by me.
Yeah. No.
Makes me sad. John Cena got in, and not even me.
And Batista.
David, the great actor Batista. Yeah, so Bayley wins, and unsurprisingly is we needed to wait an extra week for her to be the 5th member when we should have just done it and not even had this match.
Yeah.
Really.
Why not just
it felt like a waste of time.
If you don't go with a surprise, it really is just
a waste of time,
filling out space.
Yeah.
Which Raw for an hour and a half of Raw is filling out space in my opinion.
No, you're not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all.
Let's see here. Next on the list we had Enzo and Gulick versus Kalisto and Tazawa. Please, dear God, keep putting Drew Gulick on Raw because holy shit, he's great, and people are getting to see how great he is.
It's so funny because this was not his gimmick on the Indies or in the Cruiserweight Classic at all. He kind of had this sort of tough guy bruiser thing, and now he's corny white guy, and he does it so well. Yeah. I cannot wait for 205 Live just to talk about how great Drew Gulak is.
They call him Captain Underpants, which is the greatest fucking nickname.
Maybe the best thing Enzo's come up with.
Yeah.
Real pleased with that.
Their pairing works really well.
It's funny because it's one of those pairings where Drew Gulak's the straight man.
Yeah.
But he's the funny guy.
Right.
He's the one that
funny
makes you
in
laugh.
a way that there's jokes and punchlines.
Right.
But as opposed to Enzo is just this bombastic guy who's funny because he's because he's a caricature.
Right.
He doesn't really say anything that's funny. It's just that he is hilarious to make fun of.
Oh, absolutely.
205 Live, it's just so good, and especially between Kalisto and Tazawa, because both of them are so fucking great.
Oh, absolutely. The whole fucking cruiserweight roster is it is a wealth of talent. Even Kalisto, who kind of gets shit on sometimes because he can be boring, but you can't deny that he's good in the ring.
Right. That one ended with what was it? Tazawa got distracted, then got caught with the jaw down. So
yeah.
Just because they're trying to build up Enzo as strong, I think.
You know what? In Enzo's defense, and I'm not one to defend Enzo, but I feel like he's getting at least a little better in the ring. I feel like he's starting to clean up. He at least has a finishing move now in the last month, whereas before he just got thrown at people.
Yeah. We had the greatest show on the WWE Network, Miz TV, featuring the Bar.
Miz Bar.
He stuttered a bunch. He stumbled over a whole bunch of his words.
The Miz or Cesaro?
Miz.
Oh, yeah, it was weird, which is because he's usually a really good
He's good
talker.
on the mic.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it may have been the reaction because he was kind of getting a face reaction because he's fighting Baron Corbin.
Yeah, because he's had this whole big Twitter feud. I haven't followed any of it.
Yeah.
But I guess I
couldn't care less about any of this going on right now.
Fair.
Baron Corbin has been calling him out on Twitter, and they've been going
Baron
back
Corbin
and forth
out for his shitty hair.
Please do.
I will add him.
Call him out for his shitty hair just so he gets punished for being a dick to you on Twitter.
Oh my god, I fucking hate him.
You were saying something about Cesaro.
Yeah. Oh god, Cesaro's got to get rid of that. They just have to stop letting him talk because he's got braces on under the mouth guard because of where he got his fucking teeth pushed in that championship match, and him talking right now with that mouth guard in is doing him zero favors, which is bad because he's a decent talker when they actually let him talk.
Oh, he's great.
But
he's so good.
Letting him talk it's impossible to take him seriously when he's lisping like this.
Cesaro's so good.
Cesaro.
Just let him be on TV forever because the two of them are just so great together.
Agreed.
By God, King, is that Bray Wyatt's music?
Yeah.
Surprise Wyatt.
There was a booking between Bray Wyatt and Jason Jordan so that Kurt could prove to Stephanie that Jason Jordan is up to the challenge.
That's one way to do it.
Does this mean that we're done with the...
Yeah, I think we're done.
I don't think they're ever going to touch that again.
I think they just, like, if we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. I think that's their opinion on that whole thing.
I think
that it just didn't work, and then they actually figured out that it did both of them a favor by keeping one off TV and giving the other one Styles, because everybody's talking about, or has been talking about, Styles Balor.
Yep. And I guess now that Joe's back, it kind of gives somebody who has the same in-ring talent that Bray or that Finn does, where they can kind of bounce off of each other.
Well, Finn's character naturally plays really well off of Joe's character, because when Finn's playing a face, he's white meat baby face.
Yeah.
But he's, with kind of a cool edge.
Right. He's got that leather jacket going.
He's cool.
Exactly.
He's like the Fonz.
And Joe, like Bray, can talk, but Joe isn't dead as a character right now. And Bray the best thing that happened to Bray, or that has happened to Bray in months, was him wrecking Jason Jordan this week.
Yeah, it was a really fun match. I hated the ending of it, because any match that or I don't understand how you can show how ruthless somebody is and then have them win by roll up.
Right, that's fair.
I would have liked to have seen him pull out because we've seen him do it before, and it's kind of fun to watch whenever he does like his best Kurt Angle impression, and then just starts suplexing people around the ring.
That would have made him look 10 times better.
Right. Instead, they did this, and then they had the outer ring performance where, I don't know, Bray hurt his calf pretty good, I guess.
I don't know. I guess
I don't know
he
why
called upon the powers of dirty rocking chair to hurt his knee. That's the best I got.
But it did get a huge thank you, Bray chat.
Oh, man, I was so happy about that.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Thank you, Wyatt. Which is so great.
God, like what does that say about Jason Jordan? That he is so obviously they're going to turn him heel. That's where this is going.
I think that they're going to build up to a feud with him and Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Nothing else makes sense.
He's not. I lied about being your kid, but
that would be great. That would be so like
what they
late
have to do.
Attitude Era style booking.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
They'll bring out the girl from that Kurt knew in college,
please,
and it's gonna be awful.
Have her be white this whole time.
Yep. I said one of the kids from American Alpha was your son, not that one. Come on.
How many times did you get in the fucking head, Kurt?
Oh man.
But I just like that, Jordan gets a bum knee, and now Angle's like, oh, you can't be in the match. I'm sorry, you can't be in the match. I won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
He's also won WWE championships with a broken freaking neck.
Right, and you and your bum knee cannot compete in a 5-man on 5-man elimination match where
Shane McMahon is one of those people.
Where you're going to be standing most of the time. You just can't handle this. I'm sorry.
Anybody concerned about Kurt Angle's legs?
I don't know.
Do they
look
look weird when he
talking
stands
about.
up straight? Because they look like
they're bent.
Yeah.
Are they bowing?
Yeah.
Are they trying to make him look shorter?
I don't know what he does. He's like he stands up like his torso is completely straight, and then his like it looks like a I don't know like a less than sign.
Sure.
His legs, both of them, and like he just stands completely straight like that. And I'm like, what is up with his legs?
I
put it like 4 times in the document. What is up with Kurt Angle's legs?
You did put it in here a bunch of times.
I almost wonder if if he's just got bad knees after 20 years of doing this, drugs and alcohol.
I don't know. It's possible.
I mean, Flair's got better legs than him at this point.
Sure, but I think Ric Flair's also worked a significantly safer style than Kurt Angle.
I don't know. Ric Flair will bleed without anybody touching him.
Oh yeah, but it's always from the forehead because that's his forehead is literally just blade scars. That's it. It's just leathery blade scars.
Oh man,
which is really the most metal thing that's going to get said on the show.
Blade scars,
leathery blade scars.
They followed that up with some Brock talk, which is pretty great. Heyman gives us all of the reasons to buy the network, and if it was anybody else, I wouldn't buy into it. But if Paul Heyman tells you that you should buy something, I'm going to buy it, even if it's like a broken down car with no wheels.
Did you ever see the Ladies and Gentlemen, My Name is Paul Heyman documentary?
Recently.
So fucking good.
There's a reason why he is
He's great.
Possibly the greatest in the industry at what he does. I can't think of any better managers.
I would say he is the best modern manager by far, and probably, given his success in ECW and then booking SmackDown for the best SmackDown years, he's probably one of the best minds in the industry, period.
Because he's such a fan. I don't think that it comes through with a lot of people, but with Paul Heyman, it really does come through that he's just a fan of what he does.
Oh, yeah. In the same way that Triple H is a mark, he's a fucking mark. Like, at the end of the day, he just really loves the business. People forget, Paul Heyman started out as just a kid at ringside,
like 10
taking
years old.
photos. Yeah. And, this is a guy whose entire life has been the wrestling industry.
Now, here's what I like about Mahal dropping the title and going into AJ is because it really did give Heyman the opportunity to be at his best.
The difference between the promo he cut where he was talking about Jinder Mahal and the promo he cut with AJ Styles was completely different.
Night and day.
Yeah. I was just fantastic. He talked up AJ Styles, but while still being like, he's great, but Brock's gonna fuck him in the ass.
I love that the narrative that he was telling was that AJ is this great hero of the WWE, and he's going to fight the greatest challenge of his life, and he is the most worthy of anybody in the WWE, but he still has no chance.
I'm honestly just legitimately shocked and happy about it, but shocked that Paul Heyman said AJ was the best in the world.
Everybody's saying it now.
Because...
and here's the... I don't know if you noticed this, but as soon as he said it, everybody is now saying it.
Oh, absolutely.
Michael Cole is saying it.
That's huge, though, to think about just how AJ came in last year.
Yeah.
And where he is now, both in terms of with the fans... merch sales and sort of with the opinion of him in the company. It's amazing, and it genuinely speaks to the tremendous talent that he is.
I think he's most of the reason why Cena has taken a step back.
I would agree
multiple
with
step
that.
backs, I would say.
I would agree
like
that.
they had that feud, and Cena was kind of like, all right.
Yeah,
kinda,
this makes sense.
Kind of
Fair.
Homer Simpson into the background. Yeah, promo was great.
Can we talk about the fact that Paul Heyman managed to beat out a wedding chant in the crowd?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I fucking loved that.
Paul Heyman got the crowd back from a "she said yes" chant, which is just impressive. I think very few promos could come back from that. Very few talkers could pull the crowd back in, and he shut that chant down.
Acknowledged
hard,
it, and then
he will shut that shit down.
Exactly. Phenomenal.
Him and Brock work so well together, just because like Brock is like Brock only has to emote just a little bit, but like the little things that Brock does, where he like turn to him, kind of smirk, or like make a face, or like do the Brock where he like kind of like jumps up and down a little bit.
Yeah,
like they work so well. Like,
it really does
Brock
come through that they are.
And Brock can talk. Just early days where Brock was before he left for UFC, like he could talk, he could cut a promo, but he doesn't need to. And
no.
It's
they're
better
so
if he
good
doesn't.
for each other. Yeah, no, they're just
there's more mystique to it.
yeah, like it's.
It really
He's
comes
this prize
through.
fighter.
It's the same way that Bobby Heenan talked for Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
You keep some mystique on that person, even if they lose, they've still got that. Okay, they don't talk; they just come and they kick ass.
Yeah,
And
he fucks Sable.
Right.
Like, who doesn't want to be that guy?
Yeah, but so did Mark Marrow. So I mean, is that really,
Don't despair.
the standards there not high.
We followed that up with the Shield versus Bar Miz.
Yep. The Shield's first match.
Yes.
In over 3 years.
Something like that's
Something
what
like
they were
3 years?
telling us.
Seemed like a waste.
Yeah.
It was a fine.
It wasn't a bad match.
No, it seems like a waste to do their first match on TV the week before Survivor Series.
They meant
sure.
to do it at TLC, which would have been their anniversary.
Yeah,
But
Whoops.
viral
Whoops.
infections.
Roman Reigns like fucked somebody in the mouth and got like a thing. I don't know.
I believe cock mono.
Yeah.
I believe is what it is.
Did anybody else love Booker's rant?
Was this when Booker was talking about Survivor Series and how he was in it in 1987?
Yeah.
Before he was even wrestling?
Yeah.
And Michael Cole and Corey are just like,
What the fuck
What?
are you talking about?
no. Yeah, no.
So yeah, Booker T spent like 5 minutes going on about like Survivor Series and then the Raw and SmackDown brand legacy going against each other, and how he fought back in 1987. Which, first off, he would have been in, or if he was anywhere, he would have been in WCW.
Yeah, I believe Booker came in 92, maybe 93.
Second,
5 times.
the year that he was talking about would have been 5 years before Raw, and would have, and as pointed out by Michael Cole, would have been 12 years before SmackDown.
Right.
Was even a brand, right? Like, SmackDown was even like a thing.
Yeah,
like
if you want to get technical, it would have been like 7 years before SmackDown was coined as one of the Rock's phrases.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh. Come on, Booker.
He's just... The man has taken too many blows to the head to be effective at commentary.
The best thing that Booker has done in the past 10 years was train Ember Moon.
Yeah?
Best thing he's done the past 10 years.
Anyway, the match match was pretty effective match. It goes pretty much, or hits all the marks that you would have expected it to. You get Cesaro doing some good uppercut shit. Miz does some really, really great cowardly heel stuff in between there. And it finished like the ending of what like a 6-man tag match would have finished on in like a video game, where it's just like everybody does their super moves.
Yup. I mean,
I still hate Seth Rollins' fucking finisher.
They really need to figure out what the
every
fuck
time
to do
Seth
to
Rollins is brought up on this, that's what I'm going to say until they fix it.
So what I hate about it the most, aside from how garbage it looks, is how unconvincing it is that it technically is unnamed. I think they're calling it the Kingslayer after the gimmick.
Let's
I think that's the closest I've ever.
There's an asterisk to that.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Graves refers to it as the King's Landing.
Right. Michael Cole refers to it as the
knee.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the knee. Oh, it's so bad. I don't know if it was. I can't remember now.
Finn Balor kicks people in the head. Goddammit. Finn Balor steps on people's chests, and you can't have Seth Rollins do this stupid like thing that he was. I'm done. I can't.
Whenever Finn Balor, I remember the first time that I saw Finn Balor do the coup de grace to a standing opponent, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And the bad thing is, like, Seth Rollins' knee would be so much better if he could just get the thigh slap down in time to where it actually fucking sound like he hit somebody. You know, look, I know he's not throwing stiff knees like Kenny Omega. This is the WWE. He's not going to fucking do that. Yeah.
I watched a video recently of like nothing but Kenny Omega doing
the V-trigger.
The V-trigger.
Oh my god,
it is brutal.
But Seth's got the fucking kick pads, so I don't understand how he can't get a sound off of it. But you see that knee and it's just fucking silent. It's just like, all right, that's a transition move.
Yeah, it feels like it should lead into something in the same way that like Triple H used to have the spine breaker go into the pedigree.
Oh god, spine buster into pedigree makes me hard.
Well, yeah,
I am such a Triple H mark. It's not even funny.
No, I 100% agree with you. Triple H may be, or if not the greatest of our generation, may not, or maybe one of the greatest of all time.
He deserves. Look, he's done some shitty things in the business, but every good wrestler has. He deserves all the accolades, and I think he's finally sort of getting vindicated from his whole, 2003, 2006, I'm gonna fucking bury everybody shtick with NXT.
Yeah.
I think if anything, that is sort of raising him up to sort of cult icon status.
I have some fun booking once we get to the Survivor Series match regarding H and NXT. But yeah,
I'm into it.
We can do this.
All right, so we follow up the Shield versus Bar Miz with Bad Community Theater.
Oh my god.
This is the most Attitude Era gimmick I've seen in God knows how long. Or like transitioning from Attitude Era into what was it called? Brutal.
The Ruthless
Aggression, where like it was just like Lita and Edge having a lot of sex and like weird shit like that.
Right.
Or like Kane like having a weird thing for Lita. It was always Lita.
Do you remember?
Do you remember where Vince
Vicky Guerrero was a thing for?
Vicky Guerrero married Edge after
Eddie died.
After Eddie's death.
She was in love.
Or don't forget that Chris Benoit's death actually interrupted something where I think one of the women's division, their father died.
Vince's limo got blown up.
Oh yeah, Vince's limo
gets blown up. The week before the pay-per-view where Chris Benoit no-shows because he murdered his whole family and killed himself.
But yeah, this is just this doesn't fit in like their current thing. Like the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle thing is just so.
It feels hacky by today's standards.
What's even worse though is that Kurt Angle's playing sort of doddering old man Kurt Angle, where he's kind of like hokey. But man, Jason Jordan can't act for fucking shit. And
first off, Kurt's never been a good actor.
No,
and he did not improve with his time in TNA.
Yeah, well,
I don't think anything improves with its time in TNA. But other than Hulk Hogan's racism.
Yeah, that got better. But no, it's terrible. And Jason Jordan as the face, like playing the whiny baby, like the whining, like no, you have to let me compete. It makes him look terrible, and they've got to turn him soon because if they don't, I don't think there's coming back from this gimmick.
If you guys haven't seen it, look at Kurt Angle's legs during this part. They look terrible.
Yeah, no, they're like it's literally like he's trying to hunch down figure. 5 inches.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I don't know what he's doing. If he's just trying to make himself look shorter, or if he just had like his legs are just that fucked. I don't know what's happening.
But Triple H comes out out of nowhere and says that he's in the match now because Kurt Angle won't say it, and then Kurt Angle just stands there as H kicks his son in the gut and pedigrees him right in front of him and then celebrates. And Kurt Angle just stands there like, what do I do?
It's not like I'm the general manager of this whole brand. Whatever.
You just gave your finishing move to my son. Oh, I think I'll just stand here with my weak knees.
Good synopsis. That's all I got. That's about it. Triple H's beard is great.
Yeah,
that's solid.
It's like they took all of his bad hair from his head and replaced it with good hair on his face. Yeah. They followed that up. They are trying to build up the friendship between Finn Balor and Samoa Joe with the club, which good to see them on TV again.
So happy they got like a 20-minute match on TV.
It was a great match with everybody involved.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen a whole lot of the club wrestling because, as I've said, I started a year ago, and that's right around the time that they fell off the face of the earth.
Oh, you didn't get to see them beat up John Cena.
Oh, they were great. Oh, the beat up John Cena gimmick was so good.
I did see that because I recently went through and watched the the best of AJ Styles.
Oh, so he
loses a lot of those matches.
So you saw Carl Anderson talk about his hot Asian wife.
No, I did not see
He really likes to talk about his hot Asian wife.
I do know that because I've been on his Twitter and it says something like, good brother and married to a hot Asian woman.
The 3 most common words on Carl Anderson's Twitter are hot, Asian, and wife. In that order. Always.
Now, Carl Anderson is a really good wrestler.
Carl Anderson was one of the top guys in New Japan for a while before Finn got big and before AJ went over. There was a reason he was sort of, when AJ was over, like Carl was the guy who talked for the Bullet Club. And there's a reason for that. He is phenomenally talented.
Now, Luke is not as good. Luke is a big guy.
Luke's a great faction dude.
Doc Gallows.
He is, yeah. He's always in a faction, and he works better in a team. Always. He's not a bad wrestler, but he's not a great wrestler.
I wasn't saying that he was bad. He's definitely not bad, and especially for a big guy, he's one of the better big guys that you'll see.
He's the Kevin Nash of this.
Oh, yeah, and he can talk just like Kevin Nash, too. It's great. You put a mic on Gallows, and Gallows will get... He managed to get nerds over. He managed to get Nerdo, and that's just,
I was really hoping that that we would have seen Finn do a turn with the boys
so bad
with the Good Brothers.
Would have been so happy.
But no, they're gonna keep it. They're gonna keep it straight until after Survivor Series for sure.
Yeah.
Really good match, all in all. Maybe one of the better ones of the night.
Joe and Finn have great tag team chemistry.
They have fantastic chemistry.
They worked really well as a tag team in NXT.
Yep.
I remember being really, really about that, and then something happened, and then they feuded for the championship for God knows how long. What seemed like 6 months.
They won the first Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Okay.
And then I think they beat Baron Corbin and Rhino at NXT TakeOver Respect. And then Joe turns to Finn and says he wants a title match, and Finn says he'll give it to him. and then like 2 weeks later, Joe still hasn't got it, so he turns on Finn. And they feuded for a good 6 months over the belt, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see more of them. You know what I'm not more excited to see more of? Braun and Kane.
Yeah.
Trash man Braun and like just terrible hair Kane.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think that's close to done.
I think so.
If this didn't do it, I don't know what will.
What is even this feud that's going on? I don't even. Can you call it a feud? It's just
it's Kane's retirement party. That's what it is.
I think that's the plan. I think this is a way to write Kane off for good.
The question is how long do they ride this out? Because it very well could be something that they carry on until WrestleMania, which would be like, I'd say at least 2 months too long.
So Kane fights Braun tonight. The gimmick is the end of the match. Braun goes for the super power slam and slams Kane through the ring. They do the ring break spot. Yeah. And I honestly, for a second, I thought they're going to do the Kane... Did you see the foam? I did. Oh, man. Yeah. I did. And I thought they're going to do the Kane spot where the fire shoots up through the hole, and then that was and Braun's going to stand up instead of Kane, and then that's the gimmick.
Like, that would have been amazing.
That would have been the way.
Or like he's the big red machine now, or something
right.
Like something along those lines.
If they would have had him like he
transitioned like garbage power into like fire power.
Right
like now he's got power over both
Honestly,
garbage and pyrotechnics.
If you were to do that with him come out through the flames holding the mask in his hand,
First off, Braun's over forever. Like, he just is. Braun does not have to worry about being
so protected.
Over. Oh, yeah. But, like, if he had... This is the thing, like, and this was my complaint when they did Undertaker versus Wyatt family a few years ago. Like, the Undertaker won. He and Kane beat the whole Wyatt family, and everybody looked like a fucking goon because of it.
Yeah.
If you want if you want to make Braun look good and you want to give Kane a send-off, look, unless... Very few people don't go out on their back. Kane is a company guy through and through. He does what they say. So fuck it. Power slam him through the ring. Have him rip the mask off while he's down there. Fire through the hole. Goes down. Lights go out. Come back on. He's standing up in the hole holding the mask. Kane's done. Kane is written off. And Braun has that clip that sells DVDs for the next 10 years when they're like, the Braun Strowman story.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I would have booked it.
That was a fitting ending. It could have been, or I get why they ended there, but quite frankly, they could have ended a match earlier.
Sure.
Because that really wasn't a match. Where like they never made it into the ring except to put Kane through it.
If it weren't for putting him through the ring, I don't understand why that was the main event over Finn and Joe versus Luke and Carl.
I don't understand why Triple H's return.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I don't know why Triple H's return wouldn't have been the ending. That would have been the logical ending.
Ring spot. It all comes down to the ring spot because they have to repair the ring and all that shit, and it's just not going to...
I almost would have saved that then for the next...
right, because they don't need to do this now.
Yeah, like I said, this is why I'm saying it, because it doesn't feel... Like, it just feels kind of...
rushed.
Weird, yeah.
Sure.
And it's too early for them to make it a Mania thing, and it's... It just doesn't. I don't know.
It's not going to be on the pay-per-view this weekend.
Yeah, it's not working for me.
It's fair.
We moved over to SmackDown Live. They did one of the things that I hate more than anything else. They started out with a pep rally.
They sure did.
Holy fuck, was that awful.
Raw always starts off with a great package, and SmackDown always starts out with a fucking dud, and it makes me want to turn the show off every goddamn time.
Fair. First off, I find any pep rally nonsense to be cringy as fuck. You can ask some people in this room because they have heard my opinions on this loudly and clearly.
I have no idea who you are right now.
What's really awkward about this pep rally, if you notice...
Why the fuck does everyone have a microphone?
If you notice, Kevin Owens is in the back, like right in front of the camera. You can see his hair.
Kevin and Sammy are like in the back, like, man,
yeah,
they're the cool kids.
And you see like
the bleachers.
You can count everybody who's there. Like the Fashion Police are there, and like the Ascension is there, and like it's just like, why are all these people who like wouldn't be in the same room with each other are like, yeah, SmackDown.
The majority of SmackDown's Survivor Series team is not there. Randy Orton is not there, and John Cena are not there.
Rude and Nakamura are the only ones that are there.
Yeah,
including McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Shane's even still on the team.
Shane's gonna be on the team.
They followed it up. Daniel Bryan calls out AJ Styles and asks to be his advocate.
So good.
Is anybody else loving this thing where everybody is doing
Pass.
this?
Skip.
Didn't like
Pass. Daniel Bryan. Skip. Pass. I was a Daniel Bryan mark for forever. I'm done. I am so done with Daniel Bryan. This was
Cringy as
This was
fuck.
cringy and it was forced. Let AJ promo himself. It's almost like Bryan has to appear on TV so many times. The same way Brock does. They just throw him out there and let him do shit. It just doesn't.
I thought it was one of his better moments on the microphone in a long time.
I mean, he can talk well, but it just didn't. It just doesn't.
Didn't do
why?
anything for you?
Why is Bryan doing this? Is my whole thing. The why behind everything.
I've got a maybe theory to it, but we'll get
The
to
why
it later.
behind Survivor Series as a fucking whole doesn't make any sense at all.
The why fucking terrible.
I love that they're just like lining up various managers or people who could be managers and just be like, do your best Paul Heyman impersonation.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And Paul's like, why are we doing this?
I don't think it necessarily happened after this, but I think it was after seeing Cara, Baron Corbin. But like Shane and Bryan like had like a discussion where he's like, "We gotta talk about this," and Shane's like thick neck gave him like the neck, and like the look, and like Bryan was like, "We can't talk now," and I was like, hopefully they're gonna discuss like what Bryan's fucking job on this show is because
I think that's
don't
what it's
know
leading
it
up
is.
to.
I have some dream booking for this.
We'll get there or towards the end, but luckily there's only like 4 matches in SmackDown at any given week. The first one this week would have been Sin Cara 2 against Baron Corbin for the U.S. title.
It was not a hair versus mask match, though it should have been.
Any Baron Corbin match needs to be hair versus.
I really expected that to be a title change.
Yeah?
You know, I expected it, and then as it was going through, I was like, they're gonna leave it on Baron.
They don't give a shit about Sin Cara.
He's locked in a contract. He has nowhere to go for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I
so
think they'll
they
move him
don't-
to 205.
Really?
They can get
he's
the.
not. He's not fast enough, and he's not like flashy enough to do it. Like Kalisto is getting fucked on the. And basically, Kalisto was getting the same sort of spot that that Sin Cara was, and
Right.
they didn't do anything with it other than like do like the joking, haha, you lost to a guy who's like 3 foot tall.
Yep.
Thing. And you move him on 205 Live, give him the ability to speak, and he's fucking fantastic. Just like give Sin Cara the mic and see what he can do. You don't have anything to lose.
They had like a moment where they did that, like a week or two ago, where like they did the whole thing where like Baron tried to take off his mask, and they let him talk about what the mask means, even though it's not his mask.
Right. It was Mystico's mask. Whoops.
It was fine. It was a
match.
The match was sloppy. Sin Cara is sloppy.
End of days, 1, 2, 3. Sin Cara takes the pin.
yeah. What a shock. Unlike Charlotte versus Natalya for the women's title, one of their better matches. They do well together.
Yeah.
Charlotte definitely boosts up Natalya in a real way.
Well,
Charlotte's legs are so long.
They are.
I think Charlotte can get a good match out of anybody.
Yeah.
And Natty she's competent in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, that again,
No,
that
she's
sort
not
of Hart
bad. She is a
family style.
very good technical wrestler.
Right.
But like, she's cringy as fuck on the mic.
Oh yeah. Was she I
don't know what they're
don't
trying
think
to
they
do
let
with
her
her.
be herself, maybe. You know, I think you're best on the mic when you're sort of you, but
They're forcing
at
I think,
11.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, like the cat girl.
I feel like they're just like
Okay, she is really into her fucking cat. Though.
Yeah.
She is really into her cat.
it's one of those weird things where like I guess I don't watch the show, but I assume that they're trying to take like her personality from Total Divas and force it onto her TV persona.
I've not seen an episode of Total Divas, so I couldn't tell you. She's really into her cat, like in real life, like he has his own Instagram. But other than that, like I don't know how Natty is in real life.
Or it seems like they're doing a thing where like they're trying to move the titles around, or at least SmackDown is.
I don't know.
So Charlotte won via figure eight. That makes total sense to me.
Sure.
It
was in her hometown.
It was
Yeah.
It's in her hometown. It was a good time to do it, especially with what's like been happening with the Flair family. It's kind of like this uplifting thing.
And you can build off that 30 for 30 last week.
You can,
Yeah.
which was fantastic. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah, Charlotte's a face now, I think.
Yep.
Charlotte
Not
is
now, but like has been, and it's really weird that like she gets to be this like cocky like Flair and also be a face because like Ric Flair is like just fucking over as shit.
Right.
And
Right.
it's the weirdest thing.
It's
to me.
kayfabe's dead now, dog. I don't know if you know this. So.
I mean, in her defense, it is sort of the same way as Ric Flair. When Ric Flair's a face or a heel, he doesn't change his character.
No.
It's just the reactions that change to him. And it's been
Right.
like that since the 70s.
It has more to do with who they are facing than it does their personality.
Absolutely.
You more in the notes.
Well, she did. Okay, so she was like, she's like, I really, really like appreciate this. This means a lot to me. Like, my dad's at home and like all that stuff. And like, you could tell that she was talking as like Ashley.
Yeah, like you could hear her choking up and all that kind of stuff.
And then she like cut down and did her like Charlotte promo where she was like, I'm the queen, and like this is like there was a queen before there was a goddess. And then after that, she did another break.
Right.
And I was like, well, that was really jarring for me.
Yeah.
But I understood why it happened. It was just kind of interesting.
In and
like,
out
she
of
broke
kayfabe.
twice.
Towards the
moment,
end, it was beautiful. I teared up a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, no, completely. But for a brief minute, I really thought Flair's music hits, nobody's coming out. I thought, oh shit, they're about to give Dolph Ziggler nuclear heat. They're going to bring Dolph out. And they didn't. And, of course, Dolph hasn't been on TV for weeks now. But I thought that's what was going to happen.
He was in the pep rally. You could see him.
Oh, was he in the pep rally? Okay.
You could see him in the back.
I read that.
I was like,
note
hey, Dolph
and I was
Ziggler
like,
sighting.
I never knew that I wanted this.
Right? That would have, I mean, oh,
Well,
God.
he went through a while when he was, like, stealing gimmicks. So,
Yeah.
that would have made sense.
Talk about, like, just getting the crowd to boo you, though. Holy shit. Charlotte, North Carolina? Yeah. They're not going to be happy about that.
They did a singles match for some reason with Chad Gable and Jimmy Uso. I don't know why the fuck they're putting those two in singles matches. The match was fine.
They're good wrestlers.
Yeah, they're good performers and stuff like that. The promo was great because
The promo was fantastic.
Usos are great on the mic. Just let them talk forever.
As they work so much better as heels than they ever did as faces, I think.
Yeah.
Just honestly, I think the best thing you could do, just fantasy booking down the road, the best thing you can do is have Roman turn on the Shield, and then bring the Usos to Raw and put them together as this heel
Just
family stable.
Stable up everything, for real.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. They did New Day versus the Sammy and Kevin show, which I guess is a holdover from last week, where there was a non-kayfabe moment where people thought that Sammy and Kevin were getting fired.
Yep.
Wait, what was this? You have to explain this to me. I read about it, but I still didn't understand like what was happening. Like they were being shitty on like the tour, is what I was like.
Okay, so apparently what happened was there was some confusion between them and the New Day as to what was supposed to happen after their match on SmackDown last week. Mm-hmm. It was Kofi versus
Sammy, yeah.
And Kofi gets the win, and then Kevin was supposed to come out, which he does, and then they're supposed to get fed to the New Day basically to sort of make the New Day look strong going into the Shield match.
Did they leave? Didn't they?
They just left, and the New Day. If you go back and watch, the New Day don't look surprised at them just leaving, and I don't know if that's maybe them being really just quick, or if that's what was supposed to happen. But apparently what happened was Kevin and Sammy just left. And it was apparently confusion on their part. There were some rumors going around that they were being shitty on the tour, but they're company guys at this point. They're really well liked backstage. This is where they want to be. And so they got sent home from the tour, and there was sort of there was all this shit getting kicked around because, of course, Neville left recently. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Jacobs got fired. They were all really close. And so the question was, are they kind of going into business for themselves? And they're back on TV this week. So apparently it wasn't that big.
They did the whole Shield invasion where Raw invaded. Kevin and Sammy feed the New Day to the Hounds, which was fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
I'm really, really excited because they are definitely the wild card going into Survivor Series. If Raw gets a win, which I think that we all agree is pretty fucking unlikely, it's gonna be because of interference from Sammy and
the Survivor Series match, which we'll talk. I think we have an actual part where we're gonna do Survivor Series card, but the Survivor Series match I'm predicting is going to be one huge fucking interference.
It's gonna be a Dusty Rhodes style fuck finish booking all the way through.
Which is great because they're also doing
those Shield shirts were terrible.
War Games.
We're also doing War Games, which
about War Games,
which is a Dusty Rhodes match
invention.
Yeah, those Shield shirts, those Shield Raw shirts were terrible. I hate them. Why? I was like, why does this?
Sin.
I just hate how the Shield is like above everybody.
Seth did it last year too with his shirt and the Raw shirt.
I fucking hate it.
It's just ugly.
I hate it. I don't like how the Shield, because like the Shield is like outside, and it works real well because like a lot of like the demo for wrestling in general is like really like I don't want to say anarchist like youth, but like fuck the system kind of thing, and the Shield like represents the fuck the system type of thing. So like they have that shield, and they're outside of like the I don't know, like democracy or like autocracy or whatever it is that Raw is, but they're just outside of it. It just really like that just kind of confuses me because I'm all about like structure and order and the way Raw works, but like they just have their own shirt and they like do whatever the fuck they want because nobody can beat them. That's the only way that I can like
they're
see
the top guys.
Yeah, I don't know. The shirts were just a fucking travesty. They're just they want to throw up.
We'll run through the small cards as quickly as the small shows as quickly as we can. 205 Live happened. I did not watch it.
It was okay.
I think you had something to say as far as Shane.
Shane, right. Yeah. So, of course, the SmackDown roster comes out, including Shane, and they just get massacred.
I love these fights that they have because you always get to see like really interesting stuff. Because like Samoa Joe was like fighting like Shinsu like Nakamura,
right?
And, like Rude was like Balor was going up against Rude, and I was like, oh my god, I love everything about this right now. Like it was just stuff that you never get to see, and like
it's
just
great.
little skirmishes, and I love that shit. I really do.
And you get to see the best of it. You don't have to see all the drawn out, ring psychology. You just get to see the sort of moments.
Yeah,
and that's great.
Yeah.
So Shane is the last man standing in the ring, and he's
Wouldn't
the last.
Be fucking amazing. All right, I'll let you finish.
Now I want to know. Shane is the last man standing in the ring with fucking Angle, Braun, and the Shield. So Shane gets a Cerberus bomb from the Shield, and then, which I hope that sticks. I hope Corey's not just calling an audible when he calls that, because it's so much better than the triple power bomb.
It really is.
Because, yeah.
Just let Corey name everything forever.
I'm fine with that. So Shane eats a Cerberus bomb. He eats an Angle slam. He eats a power slam from Braun, and then another triple power bomb from the Shield. And I just want to point out that it is ridiculous that Shane McMahon, who is not a wrestler,
he is really good at almost dying, though.
Right. Shane McMahon, who is a stuntman, this year has has just gotten his ass kicked and is now going to be in Survivor Series. When Jason Jordan, who just has kind of a bum knee from
can't go.
He can't go.
Can't go.
And
scratch. He's a scratch.
I want in my just wildest mark fantasies, this is a way to write Shane out of the match because he shouldn't be in the match, and to shove Brian, who realistically has not had a bad CTE test since 2016.
You can protect him so well in a match like this.
He hasn't had a bad...
Because he doesn't have to finish it. He barely has to be in it.
He's saying now he's got an 85% chance of wrestling again. The last tests they've done, except for the WWE doctors that won't clear him because of this CTE lawsuit that Joseph Maroon is dealing with from the NFL, and the Chris Benoit thing.
Yeah.
Except for the WWE doctors, every single doctor has cleared him. His brain they're telling him it is in amazing shape for someone his age. And, there are the sort of questions, well, what role does, alcohol and steroids and drug abuse play in CTE? But they're saying his brain is fine.
I thought Brian had a neck problem. I thought he had an edge neck problem.
It was a concussion issue.
He kept doing too many unprotected headbutts.
Yeah. That's really what ended it. It was all those
headbutts. He did the flying headbutts, and he would just headbutt people all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Which,
I always
if
thought
you have an unprotected headbutt, you're getting a concussion. I mean, it almost killed
Shibata. Yeah, it almost killed Shibata this year. Like the fact that Shibata has a vision is amazing. But honestly, it wouldn't be hard for Brian to take headbutts out of his repertoire.
No.
He's got a solid moveset outside of headbutts.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So honestly, with the sort of dissension that's being sowed between Shane and Brian right now, I know it's not going to happen because the WWE hates me, but it would be amazing to pull Shane out from taking all of the finishing moves and throw Brian in there. Just imagine the pop you're going to get.
I mean, I think that works very well because like you can play into like a Bryan Shane kind of like feud for power over SmackDown, considering like I was saying there is no like defined power structure
Right.
the way there is on Raw,
And
a Bryan and Bryan coming out at Survivor Series to fight Triple H or literally anybody, like the crowd would go fucking
Think about the
nuts.
long-term storyline there of Bryan versus the Authority.
Yeah,
Having him do
So
him
much
versus
payoff.
Triple H would have so much payoff, especially because of what they've been doing with him or the last promo that they had with him and Kevin and Sammy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I'm all about that, but I think Shane's gonna eat all that and be back for no reason.
He will.
Because for whatever reason, Shane versus Kurt means something.
Which is silly because realistically, you could use this to kickstart. If you want to keep Bryan working safe for months, even until Mania, you can use this to kickstart Bryan versus Shane at Mania.
And honestly,
That's
can
a
do
safe
that
fucking
because
match right there.
Look at the last match that Shane was in, him versus Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Owens took 0 big falls.
Yeah,
Shane is willing to be the spotlight and do the crazy shit.
Absolutely. And he doesn't even have to do the crazy shit though. Look at him versus AJ.
Him versus
at Mania
AJ would
this
have been
year.
a good.
It was fine.
Right.
You know, it was that he did a couple crazy Shane
God,
O'Mac
I love
things,
that coast
but
to coast.
right? So good.
The garbage can, like that's fucking fantastic.
All right, let's
That's your SmackDown.
let's run through 205. Anything fun happen?
A couple matches. Bryan.
I fucking love Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak is
I
currently.
do the capi or something like that. He's just
I capiche.
Yeah, he's like
That's so good.
Enzo's like, "What are you talking about? What are we doing here? And he's just like rattling off things, and it's just those two work so well together.
Yeah.
They really do.
More time for Gulak. Period.
I don't know who's Gallagher or whatever.
Jack
Jack
Gallagher.
Gallagher
He's
is pretty great.
I fucking
Jack
love.
Gallagher's great.
I love him.
His
and
heel turn has been fantastic.
I respect the shit out
Absolutely.
of him because he's wrestling in dress shoes,
He
Yeah.
sure is.
and
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay.
dude's wrestling with Windsors on. It's ridiculous.
So we get Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick versus.
His jacket's too big for him.
Oh yeah, way too big.
That's all I have on Brian.
Is
Kendrick.
his jacket too big or is he too small?
Bit of both. Bit of both.
Brian Kendrick is a small.
He's not a big human being.
Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, which I don't care about at all.
You don't care about either of them?
They're both so good.
They're
I
really
think
great.
that Cedric Alexander needs.
I mean,
more
they're
of
fun
a
to
pop.
watch, but I just don't care.
Oh no, because they don't have any like build up to like their characters at all. But I think that as performers,
Oh yeah, they're fun. They're fine.
that
The lumbar check is a nasty fucking move.
Holy
That is- yeah, that
shit!
is-
Yeah, I
Jesus.
that
love the
scares me.
lumbar check.
Ooh.
Or the lumbar check.
I've seen a couple people do it outside of Cedric Alexander, but Cedric Alexander always makes it look like he is legitimately knocking the wind out of you.
I think Mustafa Ali stole Seth Rollins' ring gear before he switched to
He
like
sure
the,
did.
the Shield gear. I think it's just a straight up rip, like he stole Seth Rollins' ring gear.
Oh, like
can you
the
shrink
one
this
piece,
down
but
for
not
me?
quite a one piece.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I don't know if we're gonna continue to do this, but Enzo called him Gabagulak, and I fucking love that.
Oh, I
That's
love
really
it, too.
good.
And then I think Kalisto won. But Cake's fucking awesome. Why do they don't?
Wait, what?
They didn't like they were like trying to throw
cake in
they're trying to throw like Kalisto into the cake, and I was like,
It was his birthday.
Why
Oh,
would this
yeah, yeah.
ever be a bad thing? Cake is great.
No, I'd fucking love it if somebody.
And
threw
then
me
he
in the
like they
cake.
threw
Right?
Enzo into the cake, and I was like, "Fuck!" Enzo just got his face thrown in the cake. That's awesome.
The best part about this match is that Gulak loses this match because he's trying to sing "Happy Birthday" as a heel to Kalisto. That is why Drew Gulak lost.
He
This
got
match.
on and, like the whole ring flipped out when he went on like the bottom rope and tried to jump, and I was like, "No flying!"
so good,
Yeah,
so
I
solid.
love the new the no fly zone.
I need this. I need
it was no fly zone versus Marty McFly, and Marty McFly won.
the event. The eventual Drew Gulak, like not face turn, but the eventual Drew Gulak just turn on Enzo is gonna be great. And
I
can't
think that
wait
what
for it.
happens is Enzo retains the title, kind of beats a bunch of other people.
Sure.
And then Gulak goes hard on his no chanting.
Yeah,
I'm so okay with that. So okay with that.
All right. NXT.
NXT was pretty decent this week. It still remains, I think, the best written show
that was like NXT
that they
for
produce
me,
in a
like,
week.
for to watch was like 25 minutes of promos. It felt like 25 minutes of like cuts.
The
and
go
I was
home
like,
show.
I was like, what is going on? It was this, and it was good because I haven't watched NXT in like a month. So I
Sure.
was like, okay, I'm catching up here, but
Kinda set everything up.
NXT is like constantly expecting new viewers because they do so much promo.
Oh, yeah.
That they just like, it's like old Marvel comics where it's like you can just jump in whenever you want.
Right. They want to make sure that you know, because
That's what it is.
the majority
They're
of the
trying to
people
get
who own the network don't watch it, and they're missing out.
This Aleister Black fellow looks like
Oh, man,
he looks really awesome.
Fantastic.
I am dreading his turnover to main roster.
Oh, because he just won't be that dominant. They're never that dominant force that they have. Like Wyatt is a huge. Like I think Wyatt and Aleister Black are two pretty close characters.
Yes.
Where they're just not going to be.
They have to get protected style book. They have to get like the Undertaker style booking, or their character is useless. Okay, so just real quick, this week we get the Street Profits versus Tino Sabatelli and Rich.
I don't know who any of these people are, which is great because
I'll run it down for you.
NXT is I'm trying to watch more of it.
So sure,
but their roster is so big and so varied.
Right,
you don't get the thing that you get on the main roster where you're getting like the same 8 people every week.
Right. Yeah.
A problem
with NXT, you do not know who you will see every week, and that's sort of exciting. It keeps everyone from getting stale.
Right.
And so you have the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, versus Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss. Basically, the gimmicks are the Street Profits are your sort of hip hop, like college tailgater party good time guys. They're pretty fucking over for having like just a really loose gimmick. They're fine in the ring. All 4 of these guys are homegrown talents.
It's like Crime Time, but not as much Crime Time.
Right, yeah. Like Crime Time, but less thug.
Yeah.
And then Sabatelli and Moss are basically rich assholes. That's their fucking gimmick. They're just rich dicks. Like there's a great joke. Okay, so the reason this match happens is because in a promo last week, Tino and Riddick get a suit, one $5,000 suit dropped off to them, which they are going to share. I'm not even joking. That's part. They're going to share it. So they're rich, but not super rich.
Yeah, they've got a.
They're like Donald Trump rich, where it's all about looking rich, not actually being rich.
Exactly. And Montez Ford interrupts the courier and says that he is in fact Tino Sabatelli, and that he'll take that suit. Thank you very much. And so that's the entire reason this match happens. Completely goofy, but the crowd's into it. Montez Ford beats Tino Sabatelli with a punch, like just a punch to the face.
Is that a thing that we're doing now?
Well, NXT is great about not having everybody win on finishers. NXT does like they really do protect the finishers for big spots. And so the finishers actually mean something on NXT.
That's good, but a punch these days, everybody's fucking doing that. Alexa Bliss beat Mickie James with a punch.
Slap. Oh. So
it's
like
going to be the only Alexa Bliss person on this thing for a while.
I do love Alexa. She's just a bad wrestler. Okay, so after that we get Lars Sullivan versus a cruiserweight, Raul Mendoza.
Okay.
Lars is basically he's homegrown talent too. He's basically Braun version 2.0, Braun with brains. It's fine. He's kind of running this freak show gimmick. There's a really good spot where he legitimately headbutts Raul Mendoza out of the air.
That's pretty cool.
It's really fantastic. He's also got a really great sort of like deadlift waist lock side slam finisher.
I was like, I don't know how he's going to do that on bigger people, but if he can do it, it's going to look awesome.
Well, it's setting up for this weekend at TakeOver. He's fighting Cassius Ohno. I don't see him deadlifting Cassius Ohno. Nothing against Cassius Ohno. I love Cassius.
He's a big dude.
He's got that pituitary issue. So, he moves like a lucha, but he's got all that extra weight.
Yeah.
It's a fine match. Not bad. After that, we get probably, the only other match of the night, and also the match of the night, Ember Moon versus Mercedes Martinez.
Ember Moon's so great.
She's fantastic.
She's going to take home the title. I don't see a world in which she doesn't.
I don't want her to have the title. Not to say that I don't like her, but I think it works better if she doesn't get it.
I have some booking for that when we get to talking about this weekend. They're fine. They've worked each other in Shimmer before getting to the WWE. They're really fantastic wrestlers. Mercedes is really vicious for a female wrestler, which you don't see a lot, which is really fantastic. Ember ends up winning with that top rope corkscrew stunner. Just
it's brutal.
Nasty every time. Cool. I love it.
The first time I saw it was her versus Asuka at TakeOver Brooklyn, and I was like,
right?
I was like, what? I rewound it and was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, it is a nasty move, and it's so good. She's done it for so long that she nails it every time. So Ember wins via the Eclipse. We get a stare down between Peyton, Kairi Sane, and Nikki, who all come out. They're in the 4-way match this weekend. I'm super excited for it. Go ahead.
This next thing, the last segment with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I'm so over this fucking whole thing.
Not into it?
No.
Not at all? Like, this whole thing, like, this feud, or, like, Drew McIntyre?
No, Drew McIntyre's great.
He's I think legitimately...
I don't really care for Drew McIntyre, but that's just me. Yeah, it just doesn't really work for me.
I think he could be the guy if they're not afraid of making the guy foreign. I think he's just as... Look, they like Roman for the look. Man, Drew McIntyre is a good-looking dude. Straight up, that is a good-looking dude. And he can wrestle, and he can talk.
What's his move, the Claymore? Is that what
he's got that Claymore kick, yeah.
That just...
I really don't want to talk about this anymore. This Almas thing is fucking ridiculous. Where it's been like... Every week it's been like Almas's girlfriend slash...
business partner
has been coming out saying why he doesn't almost have a title match, and Drew saying all that he needs to do is challenge me for it, blah blah blah. It keeps on going over and over again.
Right.
It's like the dumbest thing because it's the easiest thing to resolve.
Sure.
Just have this one person go talk to this other one person.
It's super simple.
Like they're overcomplicating it. It irritates the shit out of me.
I get that.
It's coming to a head. I appreciate that. Fuck it. Let's move on to fantasy booking.
I'm ready.
We got the NXT card on Saturday, which is going to be War Games. It's
excited.
So historic for so many reasons.
Nick wrote like a fucking...
I did.
War Games.
I will quick run down War Games for you if you haven't seen it. War Games is a Dusty Rhodes creation from the NWA and
God,
WCW.
that man's a fucking crazy person.
He's just a nightmare human being of booking ideas. But basically the gimmick is 2 cages, two rings,
coming back
1 cage
in NXT because Dusty.
Dusty, yeah.
This is NXT is Dusty and Hunter's
baby. Yeah.
So I really love how this is coming back.
Yes,
Not
it's the
coming
right
back,
place
but the
for
first
it.
time in WWE, it's NXT for Dusty. Like it just fits.
The first War Games match was in '87. The last War Games match was in 1998. So this is the first one in WWF or WWE in any capacity, which that alone makes it historic. It is basically 2 rings, 1 cage, a team versus a team, and in this case, another team. The match doesn't start until all the men are in the ring, and it's kind of convoluted, but it makes for great drama.
It's just ridiculous.
It's so good.
It's over the top, and it's chaotic.
It seems like it's just a shit show the whole time because I was watching
exactly that.
Quick replays.
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, God, this seems like it's just there's so much going on at one time.
It is nasty and it is brutal. And they're switching up the rules on it a little bit. There's no roof on this cage. Triple H said today there's not going to be a roof on this cage, but it is going to be the 2 ring cage.
They couldn't find it in the budget.
Whoops. Well, we'll get to it, but I think it's I think there's a reason there's no roof on it.
You think they're going to have some spots?
All right.
I think so.
You already teased Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan. Who do you think is going over? I have no opinion on virtually any of these matches.
I want it to be Cassius Ohno just because I'm such a fucking Chris Hero mark, but they're building up Lars.
So. Lars
is going to make it to the main roster. Cassius Ohno, because of his physique, is not, and it's not. Cassius Ohno is so kind of screwed over by this pituitary issue, or this thyroid issue that he has. Like he kind of can't keep this weight off. You can see in the way that he moves that he's a fast fucking guy for the extra weight that he has.
And well, they already got Kevin Owens, so you just can't have another like Captain Dadbot. Otherwise,
exactly.
Otherwise, your shirt sales get all mixed up.
So I think Lars takes it as much as I want KO to win.
Any world in which Aleister Black doesn't beat the Velveteen Dream?
Yeah, honestly, this
it's been a really because I've only seen it in that one promo they cut in NXT, and I was like watching it, and I was like, I have missed a lot of good stuff because like I don't even know who these people are, but they're like. You did it really good. Undertaker 2017 versus Goldust 2017. Yeah. It seems like pretty good like comparisons here because this dude's crazy. This other dude's also crazy, but he's quiet.
So Aleister Black has got this. He's formerly known as Tommy End. He's a Danish professional wrestler. He is wrestling.
He speaks no English.
He actually speaks perfect English.
Oh wait, they're Danish. They all speak English.
Yeah, but
I'm an idiot.
Glad you admit it.
He's wrestling's avowed Satanist. Like that's his gimmick. He's a Satanist, which is kind of weird in PG WWE.
But this is NXT, so you can kind of... It's
True.
not technically on... Or it's just network only.
Right. But he wrestles sort of the Japanese strong style.
Yeah. He's got that.
He's nasty.
He's intense.
The Velveteen Dream it's this guy named Patrick Clark. He wrestled on the Indies with Leo Rush. He's talented. The fact that he's getting this Prince knockoff gimmick over speaks to his talent, because this should have been a dead in the water gimmick, and yet he has made it. He's really got that sexually ambiguous thing that Goldust had in the mid 90s, where Goldust got over as a heel because he made you uncomfortable with your own sexuality. And that's sort of what he's got going on. And
Edge and Christian have been talking about on their, or just as a quick non sequitur, Edge and Christian on their podcast have been talking about how they're pretty sure that Goldust is the creator of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Goldust is super underrated.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Dustin Rhodes doesn't get enough.
Anyway.
No, not enough credit at all.
I'm saying Black goes over.
I think Black
just don't
wins
see,
it.
I do not, nor I think that they're going to keep him with his undefeated streak until they move him.
I don't think they're going to want to lose that yet. It seems too early.
He doesn't even seem to be in the running for the title. How long has he been in?
Since April, I want to say. May.
Okay, so he's
maybe
fairly recent.
Yeah. But I think he'll be one of the guys that moves out of NXT without getting the title. Honestly, I don't think
his gimmick works better.
He doesn't need it.
I mean,
No.
Bray, the closest character that I've seen to him since NXT has been Bray.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
could be a good mid to high Carter without even being in a title run.
Bray doesn't.
He
need
doesn't
the
have a
title,
ceiling. I don't think so.
and he doesn't need the title. But it just all depends on how they book him.
Yeah.
Let's see here. They're gonna have the women's NXT Championship 4-way. No matter what happens, we get a new title or we get a new championship
Yep.
because it's currently vacant.
This could be.
I'm saying Ember Moon, but it could be anything.
Ember just can't seem to break that ceiling, from what I'm understanding about
She
the
chokes.
Way the way they're like her current history has been. It's just, for whatever reason, she's got this ceiling that she can't seem to break, and I don't know if they're gonna break it here, or let her go to the main show without breaking it, or
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know, because this is going to be the biggest, or this is definitely the biggest pay-per-view in NXT.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Possibly NXT history.
Absolutely. Just given the whole concept, absolutely. I honestly, what I think they're gonna do is, Ember makes a logical sense because she hasn't gotten the belt yet. Kairi makes a lot of sense because she just won the Mae Young Classic and she's super over already. As far as Peyton and Nikki go, Nikki's the least likely to get it. Peyton is the only heel in the match. I could see her maybe eking out a win. I know that at the house shows, when they've been practicing this match, she's been getting the pin. So, I don't know. How I book this, or how I would think to book this, is you get dual stereo finishers. You get Kairi dropping her elbow, and you get Ember pulling off the Eclipse at the same time.
And you
2 pins. The referee counts. There's confusion. You don't put the belt on anyone yet. You get a Kairi versus Ember feud. And they've been talking about Ember Moon as they've been referencing her as the war goddess lately, which is sort of a callback to her indie gimmick where she wrestled as Athena. But I'm thinking you turn Ember heel, because you can't turn Kairi heel. She's over as a face. You turn Ember heel, and give me some Kairi Ember matches until the next takeover.
yeah.
And that's where you decide the championship.
I like this. I would give it to Kairi, but I would never get Ember the title. I think never give Ember the title. It doesn't mean anything because she wasn't able to beat Asuka. I think make it so where she doesn't get it, and give her, like, have her debut the same way Paige debuted, and just shit on AJ, just shit on Asuka when she comes up.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Break Asuka's streak.
Yeah, that's
what I would do.
That's some great long-term booking there.
That's what I would do, but you never know.
Right.
I mean, NXT, I've complete faith in them because they seem to
get it.
Yeah, they
get it.
So
Hunter
I
gets it.
think it'll be great regardless.
Absolutely, without question.
All right, I cannot talk about Drew McIntyre
Matt,
almost any less. I really don't want to see Drew just holding on to the.
They let these dudes hold the titles for forever.
they do.
They do.
Like KO had it
gives,
forever.
It gives legitimacy to the belt when it's not
When
dropping
Adam-
every month.
When
though.
Adam Cole came in, a lot of people were worried that they were going to give him straight to Drew McIntyre and have him take the title over.
Right.
I'm hoping that they don't do that, because Drew has really kind of earned a spot at the top of something in the company.
I don't think
I don't
they're
give
ready.
a fuck about this match at all.
I think Drew takes it. I don't think they're going to put it on Almas yet. I think Almas is a good enough wrestler for it. He's fantastic. He really is. Of course, he can't speak a lick of English, which is why he's got Selena Vega as a manager. I just don't see a world
Drew
where
just
he
got
wins.
it last
Yeah.
So just let him.
He got it off of Rude, so whenever Rude moved over,
Let this feud.
Let it go. Let it breathe a little bit. Yeah.
Let it happen more naturally.
We got to run through stuff as quickly as possible. We got this great big match, the official
War Games
match.
So
Authors of Pain versus Sanity versus the Undisputed Era.
What is it even like? What is who benefits the most from winning? People can benefit from not winning in this. It's such an interesting concept that I don't even.
So here's how I think happens. I think so. Each team gets one man in the ring to begin with. After 5 minutes, one full team is allowed to enter. 3 minutes later, another full team is allowed to enter. 3 minutes later, the last team is allowed to enter. That's when the match technically starts. Nobody can win before that third team is all the way in.
Yeah.
So I imagine we get Eric Young, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole starting this off. Just the best worker on each team.
Okay.
I imagine the first team coming in is going to be Undisputed Era. They get to play heel the whole time. Have that 3-on-2 dominance. We'll get Authors of Pain next, since they're not Authors of Pain. Sorry, Sanity next, since they're just kind of
fucking chaotic neutral.
Right, and that allows Roddy, who is the biggest face in the match, to play babyface in peril. He's the last guy who gets his team.
And then since the Authors of Pain don't really, they don't. I question their stamina.
Right.
They get to come in and just play. They just bully at
Sure.
the end of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think what happens here is the Undisputed Era sort of has to take this because they're the new stable. They have to sort of establish dominance. Cole needs a pay-per-view win to sort of give him his legitimacy. As the spot that they've already given him, he needs the legitimacy for it.
Yeah.
That most people haven't seen from the indies.
Yeah.
And so I think Roddy ends up beating the pin. There's some sort of talk that Roddy might turn heel and join the Undisputed Era, but Roddy's so over as a face and just on a next level from most of the other faces in NXT right now. I just don't see them wasting that yet. They've also signed Donovan Dijak from Ring of Honor, and I can very easily see him coming in as he's fucking he's Drew McIntyre size. He's 6'5". He's fucking buff as shit. I can see them bringing him in as, oh hey, here's how Undisputed Era gets over. They've got a secret fourth man. So,
all right, this one's running long as shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here. We're going to end this episode right here, right now.
Whoops.
And then we're going to have have a bonus episode for the week. So keep an eye out. If you're enjoying this, please like and comment on whatever your podcast app of choice is, or on the website. You have options. That's what I'm saying.
Comment on all of them.
Next book is coming out next Tuesday,
Amazon
the
bestseller.
22nd. Bestseller on the sci-fi / fantasy erotica section somehow,
and horror erotica. Don't forget that one.
So go out and buy In Between Days. It's a fantastic read.
Do it.
We absolutely love doing this, so please come back and
listen.
Comment. We'll be back, whenever the second episode gets posted. Good night, you marks.